Hello,
Hello.
everyone.
Sorry, we're running a bit late. We've been a bit unorganised as usual.
Good to see so many of you have come out to the stream today.
We're just like, where is everyone? And then they're like, oh, Portal's still streaming.
Ah, well, but it's just a benefit for you people to be here.
Yes.
So
Thank
now
you
people
for
will have to
tuning in.
catch up.
Yeah, that's right. They'll pop
But
over.
thank you all. But thank you, Jet, Essie, and everyone else who's showed up. Thank you very
Jess.
much.
Yes, and Jet Set Radio, hello.
And of course,
Oh, but no, you go first.
of course, today we are going to be primarily we'll try to keep on topic and discuss obviously RWBY Volume. I'm all over the place today. I
Chapter
apologize.
2.
RWBY Volume 5, Episode 2, Dread in the Air.
Yes.
Of
What
course,
an
the RWBY Rewind has come out yet. I assume you've watched, but did not watch the preview. I assume.
No, I didn't watch the preview.
Okay.
I heard it
But you
wasn't
have-
anything spoilerish. It was something that was already...
No. It was
Yeah.
very, very minimal.
Yep.
But I assume you have seen the title and the thumbnail for Episode 3.
Yes.
Then you've basically seen the preview.
Oh, okay.
It's nothing that you couldn't get just whatever from the thumbnail.
It's funny because I was on the Bootcast a couple of days ago and we were
Yes,
saying...
I watched a little bit of it.
You watched a little bit? Awesome. That was
I
fun.
watched the end of it.
But yeah, we were saying how we thought that episode 3 is going to be very Blake orientated and
Yes.
about them going public about the White Fang. And then when I saw this with gear on the thumbnail and the title being Unforeseen Complications, I'm like, yeah, this is what's going to happen. And yeah,
Yeah.
makes me very
Well, I mean,
nervous.
I think if they're going to do it correct, well, I won't say do it correctly. Of course, Rooster Teeth are free to do it however they want. But I think if they can go as best they can to never have someone not be in every other episode, I think it'll be good. Again, I had no problem with some of the pacing in Volume 4, but going 2 episodes without seeing Weiss or Yang did feel a bit jarring.
It did, yeah.
So I think if they at least have Blake, Ranger, and Yang in this episode, it'll be perfectly fine.
Well, for
They
looking at the thumbnail, RWBY, it looks like we're definitely going to see RWBY because RWBY was on the thumbnail for the RWBY episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like another face in the crowd? Was
Yes,
the crew
yeah, no
episode?
face
Yes.
in the crowd. It had lots of sort of shots what looked like menagerie.
Yeah.
Sun on the main part of it, and there was a little image
So
of
it's-
RWBY as well.
Yeah, so I assume they're going to be discussing like menagerie and how they like filled that out. And I'm wondering if they're going to comment on. Some people find it controversial display of Mistral and how they chose to do it in 2D rather than
I
fill it
liked
out in
it.
3D.
But that's just
Yeah,
me.
no, I 100% liked it too, but you know I can understand where people say it's a bit jarring.
yeah,
but- I don't know, I
think
find
it
it.
was good. I should have
Hey,
given it some
AC,
more.
Gears and Arms, thank you for coming just from Vitalcast. Thank you very much.
Yay! Yeah, I noticed Vitalcast was still going. I'm like, it started like an hour and 40 minutes ago. That's a good day. I was going to jump on myself, but I just didn't get there in the end. But we might as well talk about chapter 2, and then we can go on to what we think is going to happen with chapter
Yes.
3.
So,
Yeah.
if I may take the stage for a second,
Go for it.
I want to discuss the big controversy that everyone has with the episode. And that was, of course, Raven kicking Weiss in the face. Nothing else happened in this episode. That was the only bad thing that happened in this episode.
Yes.
And I am very... See, it's interesting because I heard very small on the rumor mill going around that there's... I think I mentioned at the end of episode 1 of this, I believe, that there's some references that Raven and Weiss have that would actually lead them to have a fight in the series just because of what they're based off.
Right.
Like they have a connection. Like I don't know if it's like the Eagles of like the Crows of Odin, or if it's the Snow White, but something, or the Frozen. You know, it's something amongst Raven and Weiss's references that somehow clash at some point. So they have some connection somewhere deep in their influences.
Interesting. Okay.
So when someone said that, oh, Raven is going to fight Weiss, I was like, where would that come from? But then and that's what I love. Rooster Teeth does this thing where they never do what you expect,
Yes. Yeah.
but they do something just as good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yes, yeah, we were all saying,
Oh.
Yang's going to get captured by the bandits. Bless you.
no, that's alright. So just my nose is just feeling a little iffy.
You were sneezing before, so I was like, oh,
Yeah,
you're sneezing
apologize,
again.
guys. I woke up like half an hour ago and I'm feeling a bit off, but let's just stay focused.
Yeah, you mentioned I think it was last stream about Yang getting captured by the bandits. So it was really unexpected that it would be Weiss, and it makes sense now.
Yes, it does. It very much does.
Expected it. Yeah. Definitely.
Because I remember, I want to say I was watching a reactor, I think about a few months ago. I want to say it was Sammy Cohn, but I could be wrong. There are a lot of reactors out there. And when she was coming up to the season 1 finale, one reactor mentioned that it was like, oh, Roman's going to kidnap Weiss, because she's the heiress, and that way they'll get a lot of money.
I remember hearing
and
something like that, yes.
And she based it off the fact that Vale was circled in the map in episode 8. Like, that's where they're targeting. And I was like, that's an interesting theory to go on. And it's interesting that they're doing that now.
Yeah.
Because Weiss is so well known. The Sneeze are like Snow White killing Ravina, the evil queen. Is the evil queen named Ravina?
Ravina. That's interesting.
I actually didn't know that.
No,
but if that's actually the case, I haven't watched a lot of the old Disney films. But that's interesting. I actually did not know that her name was Ravina. But there you go. That might be what.
Could be some reference there. Yeah, definitely. Oh, didn't know that.
But what was I talking about?
My concern is, like, if Raven is going to use, because she realises who Weiss is, Weiss isn't the heiress anymore, and even if she tries to sort of say to Jugs, hey, I've got your daughter, rah, 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 you'd probably be like, I don't care, she left.
But
so.
the thing is, I don't think she's going to ransom Jacques for it, because one, communication is an issue.
Well, that is true, yes.
So there's no way she can really talk to Jacques in time, unless she has a Seagrim and Jacques has a Seagrim. So yeah.
The new Skype.
I would like, though, if Raven's base was based at a communication tower, like one of the regional ones that they mentioned in the cross-continental transmit World of Remnant.
Yes.
Like one of the mini satellites. That'd be really cool if that's where they were stationed. But I don't think they're going to go to Jacques. We know that Winter is probably amongst the Atlas issues that are in Mist right now. So she's probably like one of the people who's like, no, you shouldn't hate us because we're Atlas. But it'll be interesting to see. Because I'm curious what they're gonna. One thing I do want is I hope we get to see, and I hope this doesn't sound weird or anything, but maybe we get to see like Weiss maybe with her hair out and like she looks like she's been roughed up kind of thing. Like she looks like she's a bit more, because I think that's some people have said that she's getting a new outfit because the outfit doesn't really suit anywhere other than being at home. Yep. Which I don't agree with. I think her outfit's fine.
Yeah.
But it would be cool just to see her, like, I'd love to see Weiss with her hair out, because the only time we ever saw that was back in Volume 1. I'd love to see that again now in this, maybe a bit roughed up, because I would really like if, like, character costumes changed a bit more off. I know that's obviously very hard for the crew.
It should show a bit of wear and tear. Yeah.
Which she did already, like, her outfit was damaged after the crash. But it'd be cool to see, like, her hair out, or just, maybe she was just given, like, bandit clothes to chuck on or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just an outfit change to suit the situation a bit better. As hard as that might be for the crewbie, so I apologise for giving you more work, crewbie. Because I know how much she's, like, again, like Patrick and Dustin. Apologise, the animator. I'm aware of Patrick. I'm not too aware of the animator. But how they mentioned sometimes it takes like 3 months to do an episode. So don't want to add extra work to Tim, who's the modeler, to make extra models for Weiss, just because I want Weiss to look a bit different if she's being wrapped up in a bandit camp.
Yes. Yeah.
But. So I do think that was really interesting that the fact it was Yang, Weiss looked at Raven, not Yang or anyone else.
Yep, that's the clip we saw from the trailer. Yep.
Yeah, and I mentioned too, we've now seen everything from the trailer in the first 2 episodes.
I was thinking that. I was going to go back and watch it.
There is nothing that wasn't, which I never would have guessed it. I would have guessed the trailer goes up to like episode 6.
Yeah, exactly. But no, because I was thinking even just watching the first episode, so this is a lot of clips from the trailer. And then now the second one as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have seen everything from the trailer.
That's true. Raven could possibly hit because she has the portal casting.
Yes.
So maybe that can do something towards. Maybe she can actually. I theorized that like weeks ago. I don't know why I didn't think of it just then, but she could probably just go to Jacques.
Cool.
Just appear in his office. That's actually a good point.
Not so good for Weiss.
Not so good for Weiss.
Just
no.
put it back there.
But again, I don't think
trouble. I don't
but
think
this is also a really good way, writing wise. So thumbs up to Miles and Kerry, of involving Atlas because we got so much Atlas in Volume 4, and now we were likely not to get anything from Atlas this volume because Weiss wasn't there. So this is a good way to get updated on what's happening with James and Jacques and Whitley. So I think good work on them for writing it this way, because this does give us more influence on Atlas even though no one's there.
Yep.
So
hey hey Cookie.
Hey. But since we're backtracking, might as well keep backtracking where we are.
Yep.
So we're going from beginning to end.
Okay.
Adam.
I don't like his new outfit. I'll just put that out there.
Interesting. Okay. I like it. I think the modelling is could be better.
Yeah.
I don't mind the outfit. Like, in the concept art, I like it. In the model, not so much. Especially compared to how good his suit was that he had in Volume 3. But I don't mind it. It matches the more Mistral aesthetic. It makes him look more like an assassin kind of character, which I think is good.
I do give that. Yeah, it does. It looks almost military-like.
Yeah. But again, I do get where you're coming from. The modelling isn't great, necessarily.
I quite like his old outfit. But it could grow on me.
And I very do too. But cool. But when he's sitting down on the throne of his sword, it looks okay in that shot, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I think his outfit looks good there. But in other times, it just looks, it looks a bit... Especially when he's around Hazel, he looks a lot smaller. So he doesn't look as intimidating around Hazel.
He looks tiny next to Hazel. I mentioned that in my reaction. Like, it looks so tiny.
Adam could have militia look, but it's fine. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I like this suit, I really did. But again, I think this outfit matches the White Fang a bit more. Where his old outfit didn't really match the White Fang necessarily. Much like how Sindar's outfit didn't really match Mistral. But even then, like, we know that those were lies, but I still think she probably is from Mistral.
Yeah.
But she just lied that she went to the school.
Yeah.
I think. Well, even then, I don't know if they ever mentioned that she went to the school. She just mentioned that she was from Mistral.
Yeah, she did in her
and
speech.
And John insinuated that she was from Haven.
Yeah, in Chapter 9, she said in her speech that she hailed from Mistral. Yeah.
Yeah. So... Okay, I'm on the same stance with Patrick, because I wouldn't have said this, but Patrick said it too.
Yeah.
It is a little discouraging to put so much effort into a design and a model and to have her die in one episode.
Yes.
I'm okay with it. It doesn't bother me, because you have killed one person and given so much development to Hazel and Adam.
Yeah.
You have made Adam look so much more like... The thing is, and I was thinking about this yesterday. Salem is the antagonist of the series, but she's not evil. She's not the evil of the series. She's no more evil than Ozpin is, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's just my speculation. I think Ozpin's just as bad as Salem can be. Adam is the evil in the series.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
Because he's so willing to kill. His potential to do anything is limitless, and that makes him terrifying. Sienna Khan was mentioned twice.
Yeah.
She wasn't like this super built-up character that we finally saw when she was killed.
Yeah.
We all thought Adam was the leader of the White Fang until Volume 3.
Yeah, we did.
Until Volume 4.
Yeah.
We only got mentioned Sienna twice. Yes, her character was awesome. Her design was really well done.
Yeah. She looked amazing, must admit. And the voice actor was really good. It was a famous voice actor too, wasn't it?
It was Bulma from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
I'm like, that blew my mind. Like, I knew they had Vegeta, but still.
Yeah. Well, hopefully she'll be able to voice another character in the future.
I think for a second I thought Hazel was Vegeta. So that was really funny seeing Bulma and Vegeta talking to each other. But Vegeta is Watts.
Yes, that's right. He is. Yeah. Yes.
I mean, it made sense for Adam to usurp Sienna.
And we knew it was going to happen. Like, he was going to take over eventually, because that's what he wanted to do.
Could have they delayed it a bit more?
Yeah.
Yes, but I think that would have made her death
not as
worse.
Impactful. Yeah, it was
definitely. I think it would have made it worse, because if you gave us time to actually really, really, really like Sienna, then it's going to feel even worse when she dies. This way, it's like, here's this awesome character.
Yep.
She was, and besides, we could still get so much, again, flashbacks possibility with Gira, because I assume that Gira, I imagine Gira probably peacefully stepped down for Sienna to step in his place.
Yes.
I can't imagine what Carly and Gira are going to think when they hear, because they were probably friends of Sienna.
Yeah, they probably were.
Like, I don't think that Sienna,
with everything
again, Sienna wasn't evil. No. She just, She just believed that violence was a necessary action, which is completely understandable given the situation. Whereas Adam was the one who was like, yeah. I mean...
The human should serve the faunus, you know, and everything like that. And I was like, oh god, he's gone mad. Yeah.
So I don't mind it. Yes, it does suck. I'm not going to say it's not.
It does suck.
But it's not as a serious deal as everyone's, you know, making it out to be.
I understand why. Because, like, we're in chapter 2 and we've already had quite a major death. And sure, it's not a character that we know really well and really in love with, but
it was a really cool
character we knew of. And it definitely was not something we were expecting to happen in chapter 2. So I think for them to do that in chapter 2 is definitely breaking away from the mold with previous volumes, and it's just something that was very shocking and not expected. And in the way she was killed too.
Yeah, and I'll just say this to everyone who's complaining about Volume 4 being slow. This is your fault. This is RWBY saying, "Well, if you want us to rush something, then we will then." So if any of you who are like, "Oh, I didn't like Volume 4," then you cannot complain about this because you're the reason that they did this. I can guarantee you that. I bet you that was the reason why.
Could be. I thought, well, they would leave this for like chapter 4 or 6. Let's just do it in chapter 2.
Roll Bass to Daz. I apologise. I'm very tired. I have one question. Who has Adam not one shot? Well, that always brings into the question: does Adam sword have properties?
Yeah,
we know his semblance does. We know his moon slice semblance has like, I guess, aura breaking properties to an extent. Which is why he got Yang probably at, you know, a decent amount of aura. Still managed to cut her arm off. With Sienna, she wasn't expecting. She didn't have her aura up. That's why she got stabbed.
It could be that she may not have activated her aura too.
Yeah,
exactly.
And me and Larissa had the discussion, I think, last week that, you know, how does aura react to stabbing?
Yes, yeah, we did.
Maybe stabbing just does. Aura can't really, because when you stab someone, what is the sword just going to go sideways? It's going to go.
It could sort of deflect off it somehow, maybe, but yeah,
so
I don't know.
I think stabbing could be an exception to aura, but I just think hers wasn't activated, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. Or he's
and
just able to bypass it.
And Blake's aura was just probably, you know, she was like, probably more mentally, Blake was just so distraught at that time that she just, I don't know if aura was broken, but it was just like, she was so out of it that her aura probably just wasn't even like, you know, a thing.
Yeah.
At that point. Exactly. And again, she probably, it could have been broken as well. So yeah, I don't mind Adam. It sucks that we lost Sienna, but again, I don't think this will be the last we hear of her.
No, and it's definitely moving forward.
Not to mention,
story.
Her death was pretty cool. Like she was gonna freaking like that. Just scene of her almost gonna like attack Adam. Yeah, like that was just really cool, and it developed Adam even further, proving just how crazy and dangerous he is.
Yes,
and also how cool Hazel is.
Yes.
I don't know about Step because Ren stopped a King Taiji to his aura in Volume 1. Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, that's a good point as well, because it didn't stab through his hands. So yeah, okay, that's a fair point.
He was really focusing his aura, though. You could tell, like,
that's true. He was. That was a bit more like he was focusing it at that one point. I imagine.
Force field.
How spread the word of Sienna's death? Yeah, I don't know if people in Menage will hear about his death for ages. I guess, you know, they could go around and say, like, that happened months ago. That's something that could happen months ago. So they could just find out about it next episode because they're in Menagerie. So I don't think that's a big deal because, again, that could have happened ages ago.
Well, I'm thinking Adam,
but it would have took Hazel a while to show up, so maybe it wasn't that long ago.
I don't think so. I think it's probably happening around the same time as everything else.
Yeah.
That would make sense. And Adam's like, we're going to say that it was a huntsman that killed her and going to give her a proper leader's burial and everything. So I say definitely those in Menagerie will find out about it. They may take a little time for them to find out.
If they do find out about, like, this episode, like episode 3, I probably will question how.
Yeah, exactly. It'll have to be explained.
I think they'll need a pretty good reason as to how, because again, without communication, it'll be difficult.
So the Fox brothers, seem to have some form of communication with Adam somehow. So,
I mean, Menagerie's not that far from Mistral, so if they somehow can communicate with Menagerie, I wouldn't think it's that far-fetched, because, again, communication still works, it's just when it comes from kingdom to kingdom, it can't really happen.
That's it. It's more just localised communication that's up at the moment.
But, Hazel.
Hazel's interesting. And, yes, Tom said that Hazel's voice actor is also the voice of the Grimm. Yeah, they mentioned that in RWBY.
Yes.
I think it was.
That's very awesome.
Yes, that's really cool. very interesting. Nobody had to die today. Time.
Which again, that could just be a comment on we needed to do this. This needed to happen. We needed to have Adam at this position.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's have Hazel have like a commentary on it.
Yeah.
But the one thing I got from Hazel more than anything, I think this is a character obviously they've had this character since Volume 1.
Yes.
They've had all the villains written and developed since Volume 1.
Yeah.
This has to be a character they've wanted to use for the longest time.
Yeah.
Because to me, he seems like someone whose semblance probably relates to his own aura. Again, this is his theory, so I could be completely wrong. But I think he has like a really strong aura pool to the point where, like, he's almost impossible to kill. He fights seemingly with no weapon hand to hand. And he seems to be almost like a pacifist.
Yes.
In a sense. So I imagine that he's unkillable in a sense, just because of his own strength.
Yeah.
At least in his mind. Maybe he has killed too many people in his own time and is now regretting it, and now doesn't have any weapons because it's harder to kill someone with your fist than is a weapon. That's true. So that could be like a pacifist aspect to himself. Like he doesn't fight with a weapon because he doesn't want to kill anyone. Yeah, it's just like I feel like this is something they've wanted to do for a really, really long time.
Yeah, well, they have had these guys written up for a while, so
yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, it seems like this seems like such a well-developed character already that they've known and wanted to write about this character for a very long time.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I say he's a pretty decent threat, absolutely, and he has a history with Ozpin, and even Ozpin said back to Oscar, he's not someone to be what's he say? Be trifled with? What's these words?
Trifled with. I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is interesting because Watts was likely some sort of scientist in Atlas, some sort of genius from Atlas, and he's like, well, this Salem recruited him probably. Tyrion, we probably don't know. He's probably just some mad creation of Salem herself. Much like Cinder possibly could be as well.
He's a little crazy, yeah.
Yeah, so those two could be, just be like, I wouldn't say Salem raised them, but, could be like, got them when they were younger. Or Tyrion could just be, someone she recruited. And Hazel...
I feel like he's like an assassin or something, I don't know, or mercenary. Maybe he's from Vecchio.
Well, I always thought Tyrion was more of a tracker. So I think she recruited him deliberately because he's a tracker, so we could track the maidens down.
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
And Hazel was probably like an enemy of my enemy kind of thing. He didn't like Ozpin, so Salem was like, hey, you don't like Ozpin, neither do I. Come join me. Maybe. My 2 cents on the situation.
Yes.
But I really liked, no one needs to die today. He hated the fact that Adam killed Sienna. He seems like a pacifist, but from what we've seen him fighting, like in the intro, he seems like hand to hand. And I for some reason, I just get the idea that he's just someone who would be stabbed and cut up and just destroyed, but he just doesn't go down. He just seems like a mountain. Like, he just seems like he's a character that just, Like, I even thought, what if at some point someone tried to assassinate him?
Yeah.
But because he's just that powerful, his aura is just always activated.
Yeah.
So if someone tries to come and, slit his throat, and he just stands up and he's like, ow. And then just, beats the hell out of the assassin.
Just punches him, punch in the face.
Yeah, it just... Hazel definitely very quickly is becoming very, very interesting. But we're going to backtrack now.
Yes.
To something I didn't like at first.
What, the aerial fight?
I didn't like the aerial fight when I first watched it.
I loved it. Oh, I was jumping up and down through my whole watch of it.
And I noticed the scars on Hazel's arm. I think that was hair.
I thought it was his hair.
I think he has visible hair on his arm.
But it could be scars.
But it could be scars. I'm not. I don't know. I didn't like the Weiss's fight at first. Second time I watched it, loved it.
Okay.
I think I just had this misconception of choreography, so I kind of went into it thinking.
Yeah, Chris was criticising it throughout, but.
But again, when I watched the second time, I loved it. I have the same issue with the Yang shot. I think some of the effects. Sorry, Cara. I love you. I really do.
Yeah, Beck mentioned that as well. That some of the
effects weren't amazing. Yeah, efforts weren't amazing. Yeah. Some of them were taken from Grimmer clips, it sounded like.
So they just didn't sound quite right.
But when I went back and watched it, her choreography was awesome. It made sense. It was cool. Again, second time I watched it, I absolutely loved it so much.
Hey, Inspector.
I love the pilot. It's like, you're carrying dust.
Really cool.
You're carrying dust? Like,
no.
Officially? No. Actually, yes. Which makes sense why he's under the radar. Because he's smuggling dust in
because of the
which,
dust embargo.
I don't know why that didn't click until I watched it like the second time. That's like, oh,
yeah, it didn't
that's
click
why.
for me till like the second or third time. I'm like, oh right, of course. I thought it was funny at the time, but yeah, it didn't really click properly till later.
Yeah, I love the fact that she used the glyphs to slow down the airship. That was really cool.
Yes.
I feel like I've seen that on some like a fan animation or a fanfic or something. Like I've seen that before. Like that's really cool. That integrated that.
She did so much. She'd been so exhausted after all of that she did, actually. We've seen she gets tired pretty quickly. And to do that whole fight and summon the night and then do those gravity glyphs as well.
Yeah.
Goodness.
I definitely really just want to commend. I really feel like they wanted to, in this fight scene, they wanted to, okay, let's establish what she can do.
Yes.
Because I think they pretty much did everything we've seen Weiss do before. The only thing we didn't see is maybe the time glyphs.
Yeah, we didn't see the time glyphs.
You haven't seen since Volume 2, I don't think.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is, interesting. Hopefully that's not a retcon. Hopefully they're not going to never use that again. I would really be sad if they didn't. But yeah, again, they used the fire, they used wind, they also used the ice, which again was like her most prominent, so that was like the coolest one she did.
Yeah.
She was using like the gravity dust, like to pull up, to literally move the dust and throw it. The lances were awesome. I really like the lances.
I love them. Yeah.
Again, you could say some of the effects of the lances and like, you know, them flying and the ship blowing up just because the lancer flies into it was a bit like, huh?
Yeah.
But again, you know, there could have been dust on that ship. We have no idea, so I don't think that's worse. That's worth, you know,
exactly.
arguing about.
I would have liked it if it just pulled it apart and it just fell to pieces. That would have been just as effective. But
again, I think that would have been just, you know, again, like they said, they worked in 3 months for this one scene or something like that. Yeah, there was a lot
to do, and it was quite long too. I'm not sure how many minutes it was, but it was quite a long fight too.
I think it was at least like 12. I think it was like 12 minutes.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
10. Yeah.
I love the choreography, especially before she summoned the knight. Like she like steps back, swings her sword back. Just some of the choreography. You know, have to really give it up to the animators. You know, I always jump to Kim because Kim's like I think their main fight choreographer.
Yes.
After Monty, she's really good at it.
Yeah.
But I know like there was probably some mocap involved. I know Dustin said he was involved. But I just really, really, really liked it. Once I watched it the second time, I kind of analyzed it a bit more. Yeah, no, I just really thought it was really well done. It fully established what Weiss can do. The knight I wasn't a huge fan of the first time. But again, I watched the second time. Like, okay, no.
The fight, punch something when he first was summoned.
Yeah.
Rather than having his sword, is like.
But no, again, I loved it, and it's one of those. The best thing I love about RWBY, when I go back and rewatch it, there are specific moments that make me, I guess, shudder. Like, you know, like goosebump, like really hyped and they shake. You know what I'm talking about? Like just moments when you see something or hear something, you just get really excited. They just internally just like go giddy.
Yes. I haven't rewatched my reaction, but I need to edit it actually.
Every time I hear like, I am not your pet, and the knight just starts going down. That's what, and I haven't felt that moment since. I'm trying to think because I'm trying to think of moments
with Velvet. I felt that with I'm
Volume 3 with Velvet. For some reason, and this is just my own one, when Neptune flings his gun into the trident. The trident. That one does it. I just love saying Electro Lancer. So it's like Electro Lancer, and then he tosses it. That one does it to me as well. The Velvet does. Pyrrha's fight scene in Volume 2. It took me a while, but when RWBY and Ren are shooting at the not Regigigas Pokemon, lol, the Petrogigas in episode 1 where you hear like the guitar riff.
Yes.
She's like going at the Gigas. That one does it for me as well. And also the Knuckle V fight does it as well. So I'm glad to finally get that feeling again from RWBY. Almost the first or second time I watched it. Was just, you know, when that knight gets summoned and it's just flying down. And it's cool, it can like dissipate and like jump off the glyphs. I like that a lot.
That was amazing. And the music, because they were playing This Life Is Mine and the rock part of This Life Is Mine. It was so perfect for that fight.
Weiss can summon the queen.
That's true, she probably could.
I didn't even think about that.
I didn't think of that either.
No. I feel like though, maybe you yourself have to defeat it. I don't think if your summon does, it would count. But I could be wrong. But also, I would say let hit the knight because I don't want her to, and I'm really glad she didn't. I'm glad that the knight doesn't become a crutch.
Yeah.
I'm glad she still fights by herself, and this knight is a last resort.
Well, that's what she sort of seemed like she wasn't going to do it straight away. I think it must use a lot of energy to be able to summon it as well.
Yes,
so.
100%. Just imagine if White goes back and finishes off the Grim Dragon. That would be pretty cool, not gonna lie.
Yes.
The pilot was awesome, dead. Sienna was awesome, dead.
We don't know the pilot's dead. He could just be passed out in the front of the ship, okay?
Yeah.
I keep hope
But at the
alive
same
for
time,
him.
White survived because she had aura. Like the guy wasn't a fighter, so he probably didn't have aura. So
That's it. True. Very true.
yeah, the Sun Torture fight. That was like the first one that I've got that feeling.
Ah, yes.
With the gun
Yes.
that made me go.
Yeah, that was cool.
And also Red Like Roses in episode 8 as well does that same moment.
Yep.
But yes, the Sun Torture one is probably my favorite. Just like that makes me feel so happy inside.
It's so cool.
When I said that, which again, I really hope we get Gunchucks. Come on, I know it's hard.
AMVs. Like I watch AMVs and like this would have been a good moment for Sun and his Gunchucks. Like,
come on, Kim, come on, animators. I know it's hard. I know Monty only did it because it was like an animation he had from years ago. I know it was a backlogged model track. I know, but please, we want Gunchucks again.
Yes, bring back the Gunchucks. Someone mentioned the pilot's like Wash from Firefly. I'm a leaf on the wind.
So yeah, I love the floating mountains and the gravity dusts. That was awesome. I love Weiss. Like, this is what we should have done in the first place.
Yes, I love how you just see her hair when she goes down the hat.
Yes. I love that we actually finally get to see like in show the actual sword opening up and putting dust in it, which you hadn't actually seen before. We assumed that's what happened.
Yeah.
We never actually seen it before. I love like her using, the wind glyph, the fire glyph, the ice. I just all thought it was just
all the dust except for one. I think it was mentioned. She used 5 out of 6.
I don't think. I think there are hundreds of different dust types, but there are 4 main dust types. But again, like I don't care what dust she uses or not, because I know some people went back and when they saw the Weiss short, they were like, "This is in the past. We've never seen her use fire before." Well, we did in Volume 1, but people forget
it didn't
that.
look like fire.
All living things have aura. Yes, they have aura. They're not always activated, and
John's wasn't.
You do have to like, what did you say?
Unlock it, I think. I said John.
Did you say I always said Dawn doesn't have it. I'm like,
no.
John doesn't have it. Didn't have it.
No.
It is something you have to unlock. I don't think everyone does. Well, everyone has it naturally, but it is something you have to kind of.
You have to
learn.
unlock it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But now we go back again. This episode was amazing. There wasn't the 3 scenes in this episode were all incredible.
Yes.
But I'm gonna go back to the very, very start for this one. So we have Watts and Lionheart.
Yes. Leo looking very like
I see so many reactors. They're like, I see so many reactors and they're like, fuck you, Lionheart. I hate you. And I'm like, he clearly doesn't want to. I don't think he's evil. He's just being manipulated. You can't hate someone.
He's being very manipulated, but he just seems to be looking out for himself. I'm thinking. I don't know. I feel like there's got to be some other reason as to why.
The only reason that I would agree with you is because Salem right up said the White Fang will have the destruction of Haven in front of Lionheart.
Yes, exactly.
That's the only thing that makes me question. Okay, maybe he isn't in this for Mistral itself.
No, he's in it
because he's well aware that the White Fang is going to invade Haven.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that made me actually go, okay, maybe I'm actually wrong. Maybe Lionheart is actually as bad as people are saying he is. So
yeah.
We caught it on the Sea Grim.
Yes. I loved how Watts is like, is this thing on? Can you hear us, Salem, dear? I cracked up laughing.
Cinder, can you see? Well, as good as you can. And Cinder's recovered, which is good.
Yes. Goody, she's recovered.
I'm really interested though because I don't know how well you were aware of Jessica Negri, but Cinder's voice definitely seemed different.
Yeah, it does seem a bit different.
So I'm wondering if it's because that was a direct from Miles saying, okay, use your regular voice now because you've just had a throat injury.
Yeah.
Let's hope you speak differently, or if it's just Jessica Negri hasn't recorded in a long time and it just sounds different.
She may have just decided to do it a little bit differently, just because of what's happened. Yeah.
I would like to think that. I would like to think it's different because she obviously couldn't speak for a while, so her throat would sound different.
Yeah.
But first words were "shut up." Yeah.
Exactly. Shut up. Oh,
Again,
that's great.
and again, like that's like, well, they clearly like each other, so why did she call my clever little friend? Again, I assume she's referring to the virus when she said clever little friend.
Yeah, the virus, not necessarily what. She doesn't seem to. Yeah, they don't seem to get along. I quite like that actually.
Yeah. I love like what saying at the end, like these kids aren't pushovers. So I'm glad that they're establishing that even for second year students, the Ranger is actually really good, like at the level they are.
Yeah.
At least RWBY, Nora, and Ren.
Yeah, poor John. But people are like, oh, but Crow helped him. The thing is, well, Watts doesn't know that. All Salem said was guess who, and then he figured out it was RWBY who cut off Tyrion's tail. So
seriously. Ruby's got to stop. She's making too many enemies.
She does. Now Salem knows her by name as well. Like, they're referring to her as the girl before, but now she's saying Ruby Rose. There's a harness of power.
Well, okay, I'm still glad that Salem doesn't care about RWBY. I'm still so glad that seems to be the case. Salem, yeah, like, again, I keep mentioning it, but Salem isn't afraid of RWBY. She doesn't care that she's a silver-eyed warrior. She's just like, let's just deal with her for everyone else's morale. For their morale. Like, let's just, get rid of RWBY for Cinder's sake. Let's, for Tyrion's sake. I really don't give a shit about this girl.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they're doing that. But again, now Watts knows who she is. Now Tyrion obviously wants to kill her. Neo will come back and try to kill her. Cinder wants to kill her.
Yes.
RWBY just... How can someone so nice make so many enemies?
Poor RWBY. I really hope she does learn tips about her silver eyes and everything. Because I think she's going to be in a match off against Cinder. And if she hasn't, she's... Yeah, it's not gonna go good.
Again, I'm still happy that I'm still happy they're not rushing it.
Yes, same.
I know some people are getting borderline annoyed that, they're not going further into Silver Eyes or anything like that. But again, I don't care. Yeah. What's this building Tyrion a new tail? Yes. It does seem to be the case.
I'm thinking it's either Grim or it's something like a mechanical
I
tail.
think if she would ask what, it would be robotic.
Yeah.
I think she would have done it herself if it was Grim.
Yeah, it's true. Very true.
So that's really interesting that they've gone with a robotic tail rather than a grim tail. Very interesting, fair enough. But again, that leads to all them reconnecting or merging at one point. Where if it was grim tail, Tyrion would still be at thing. And yeah, Tyrion is dug himself into a corner with the whole "I killed Crow." Crow just told us what a Spring Maiden is. Well, that's good, but Tyrion.
You won't have to worry about him anymore? Nope. Sorry, Tyrion.
But, at the same time, one, it's ended up good for Salem's sake.
Yes, because now...
And even when Crow did die, she made that line, the last eye is blinded.
Yep.
So there's probably more connection between Crow and Salem than we realise. So maybe maybe Tyrion won't get beaten for within an inch of his life.
Yes.
By Salem, but I hope we get to see that interaction.
Yeah, I hope we get to see that soon.
Or even, I think what would just be as funny is if you just saw Emerald going up to the door and you just hear like Tyrion screaming, and then he just full front bursts through the door and just scurries off.
Yep.
And Salem's like, Emerald dear, do you have anything to say? And she just walks off slowly. That would be fine as well. Maybe Watts built Tyrion's maybe Watts built Mercury's legs.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's actually...
Yeah.
Huh.
He didn't have the mechanical legs, as far as we could tell anyway, when
we first met him, he had injured legs.
Yeah, his legs were very badly injured.
Yeah, wow, that's a really good catch, Zom. Huh.
So many robot limbs.
But again, Watts is an associate of Salem.
Yeah.
Why would he go as far as to give some posse of Cinders robot legs?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to say probably no, but that's a good idea if it's true.
It is a cool idea though.
But I think in logic, I don't know if that necessarily would be the case. At least directly. Maybe robot legs were made and she got them from Watts. I don't think Watts built them for Mercury, at least. Particularly. That's, again, my 2 cents on it. Salem, again, basically torturing Lionheart, in a sense. Threatening to kill him, all that kind of stuff.
Yes. And how she said to Cinder as well, because Cinder's like, why are you keeping RWBY alive and the others? Why were you working with the bandits? And it's like, well, you use other people to get what they want. So.
Which is the same thing Crow said in episode 8. Salem,
uses others.
Uses others, and that's why she's so, that's why she's so dangerous, is because, again, she's not evil.
No.
She's willing to be like, okay, let's do.
She wants to be powerful.
You do me a favor, I'll do you a favor.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you give us the relic, we'll let you invade. We'll let you invade Haven.
Yeah.
So again, like that's what I mean. Salem doesn't seem evil to me, and even in this episode, like just her laugh and her demeanor, she seemed like creepy.
Yes.
But if you listen to her, she sounds almost gleeful and happy, which again doesn't mean she's not evil. But you know, even when she said like look at Leo, for example, he used to be one of Osmond's most trusted, and now, and then she's like laughing to herself, but it didn't even seem evil. It just seemed like, yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting. I've really liked Salem, and I know some people have said that, you know, Salem, you know, we knew Cinder as a threat. Salem, we just got introduced to, you know, she doesn't, at least from an audience perspective, we don't know that much about her yet to really consider her a threat or really be that dangerous.
Yeah.
But getting to know her more and more, it's like, it really is getting to like, okay, I'm really starting to like you now as much as... But again, I didn't like Cinder until Volume 4. And she didn't even say anything in Volume 4, so...
You sort of get the vibe that Salem's not someone you want to mess with. Like, we don't know much about her at all, but it's just from what we've seen is like, yeah, you don't want to upset her. Even when Lysa's like, you disappoint me. The Tyrion is like, oh shit, Tyrion's in trouble.
Yeah, or even Lionheart, you know, saying like, you have to be, you know, Crow's up to know something, and then it's like, you know, don't talk back to me kind of thing with Lionheart.
Yeah.
I love it's like, and I really like that they're all gonna like, you know, Team Crime minus Roman, rest in peace, is gonna meet up with Watts, and they're gonna go to the Bandit tribe. You know, that's cool. Again, we're getting more characters put together.
Yes. And
then they're gonna go to Hazel after they get the Spring Maiden, if they get the Spring Maiden.
Yes, that's it.
To tell them that they're okay to invade Haven.
Yep.
I just loved where it's like, you were dismissed. Just like, okay. Like, not you, Arthur. Tyrion is in need of a new tail. What happened to his old one? like, how casual. It's like, Tyrion needs a new tail. What the fuck happened to the natural one he had?
I quite like Watts. I don't know. It's just something about him. It's just...
He is one scary-looking Waluigi motherfucker.
Yeah, I just love his little he smirks like
Yeah, and again, like that's what I mean. I'm really enjoying the villains, you know, and developing them, and they're all really cool.
They're all very different as well when you think about it. With Hazel being so passive.
Hazel's like, almost like a pacifist almost. Arthur's your more like creepy scientist.
Yes.
Kind of thing. Tyrion is your more psychopath. And then Cinder is your more power-driven pupil.
Yes, definitely.
So again, like that's what I mean. In Volume 4, I don't think they handled the villains that well. At least in terms of
them very briefly.
In terms of their introduction, I think they kind of they shouldn't have thrown them all together at once.
Yeah.
Again, I love the fact that Watts was in Volume 3 very subtly. That's fine. I love that. You know, maybe Osborn could have mentioned the name Hazel at some point, just in reference to his past.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe Weiss or Jux or someone could have mentioned Arthur because maybe he's from Atlas. But regardless. But I love the fact that now we're getting to know them. You can tell that they've been established for years.
Yeah.
They know everything about these characters, and now they're just informing us about them.
Yes, yeah.
Where in Volume 4, they didn't really have that opportunity to do so.
No, that's very true.
A maiden fight is almost inevitable if Cinder indicates going right. Yeah, we probably will get a... But never take the intros as proof.
That's it. You take the intros with a bit of a grain of salt.
which I like. I actually like that.
Yeah, me too.
The Adam and Blake fight was a mental thing for Blake, which I really like that they kind of hinted at. Nora, Ren, and Hazel, I don't know. I don't see that could happen yet, necessarily. Emerald and White, that was just like thrown together theme because everyone needed to fight someone else, etc., etc. But again, I really like we're gonna get Mercury and Yang at the Bandits camp. Hopefully. We're gonna get Maiden. Yeah. We're probably gonna get the Maidens at the camp.
Yeah.
We're gonna get Raven versus Crow. I did see someone made a graph of the fights to non-fights in each volume.
Oh, from using the intros, yep.
No, from like just the volume as a whole.
Oh, as a volume,
like,
right, yep.
How much of the percentage of the volume was taken up in fight scenes?
Oh, in fight scenes, right. Yeah.
So it was like Volume 1 was like 40% fights, 60% non-fights.
Yeah, that makes sense, yep.
Volume 2 was like 50-50.
Yep.
Volume 3 was like 90-10.
Yeah, because there was a lot of the tournament, yeah.
Yeah, and then Volume 4 was that same 40-60.
Yeah.
So hopefully this volume should be like a 60-40 split.
Yeah.
More fighting than exposition. Which, again, I don't mind either way. I know RWBY is a fighting show, but again, I don't care that Volume 1, Episode 1 didn't have a fight scene.
Yeah.
And I thought the fight scene in Volume... And Episode 2 was mostly fight scenes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we had that really long one with Weiss, so... Which was really good.
Do you think Hazel and Ozpin were friends pre-Wizard? I'm only going to say no, because I still don't think Ozpin is a wizard. But that's just me. So I don't really... know. Yeah.
Your power-driven view, Cinder?
So yeah, I really like where they're going with everything so far. I think they're really kind of writing themselves back into a comfortable position.
Yeah.
From where they are, and it doesn't seem rushed. Like episode 11 in last volume felt rushed because I feel like they were just saying, okay, you're going here, you're going here, you're going here, you're going here.
It was really setting it up for the last, yeah.
Whereas here, okay, it's like, okay, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do it a bit slower.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
They're not all going to meet up, because again, I still don't think we'll get I think we'll get I guess we're going to get 3 of them. I don't think Blake will show up. But we're going to get at least 3 of them. Which, I would have liked Yang and RWBY to meet up, and maybe only those 2, but it looks like we're going to have Weiss meet up with them too, which is fine. But again, Weiss is always the weirdest character, because she's my favourite character, but she almost has the least going forward. Yeah. She has so much past stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
But she does, as far we don't have an established final boss for her in a sense yet. RWBY has 4. Yang and Blake both share Adam as their their final boss. Yeah. Whereas Weiss doesn't have that yet. She doesn't have her character doesn't have an end goal in the series, which is scary. Yes. That she doesn't have an end goal. I guess, becoming getting back her heiress title is her end goal. Probably. But she doesn't have an end fight, which is terrifying. Because she doesn't have an end goal plot-wise, necessarily in terms of, a big bad to defeat. I hope that isn't, death flags for Weiss, because I would hate that.
I don't know. Well, I think she hasn't really got an end goal as such, but she's got sort of short-term goals. Well, her main goal this volume was to catch up with Winter, but take a bit of a detour. Yeah. Which again,
I'm really hoping that what they do is Ranger recruits Winter. They recruit Team Sun, please. I understand if they don't, but there's no better time to reintroduce some old characters than now. I feel like they've made a point to establish Sun in Volume 3. Yeah. I'd be so mad and Neptune is such an important character in Chibi. It seems like such a disservice for him not to show up again in the main series. Yeah, yeah. I know we're only 2 episodes in, so I know I'm a bit, rushing my, thoughts on this.
Yeah, that's true, Cinder. It is, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. I just really hope we get Neptune, Sage, and Scarlet. I feel like just... Again, if we're going to go with Lionheart's position, then we're going to need to build a team. Which you get like we did in the end of Volume 3, with all, the teams from the fight. We need to do that again. Yeah. So, if you want, you can even get Team Auburn there if you want. I wouldn't really care if you did or not, but no offense to Team Auburn. But I want Team Sun. I want them to hopefully find Winter. And just, do that, in my opinion. That's what I think they should do.
Yeah. Well, I think we will get them. At least, so. I think so far in this volume, it seems to be pacing really well.
Yes, very well.
That we got, all 4 of the girls in the first episode, which was great. And then even this episode as well, with having, of course, seeing Watson and Leo and getting a bit more of an idea what's going to happen with the bad guy sort of sense, which was good. The massive with Weiss, because we didn't get enough of Weiss last volume, and in my opinion, and then of course with Adam and Sienna as well. So I felt it was paced really well, and looks like with Chapter 3, which Mass will move on to talking about that, is going to be mainly Blake orientated as well, with them going probably about the White Fang.
We'll hope a bit of Yang and Ranger. Yeah, that would be the best way, because I don't know. I feel like at this point that's what they have to do. I don't mind if they don't, but I feel like in order for the community to accept it, they can't have a character not be in every other episode.
Yeah, I feel like we probably.
But again, this episode is 18 minutes, so we have more than enough time.
Yeah,
to have
definitely.
both characters.
Have a bit in
for
there.
all three characters.
I think it'll probably be mainly Blake. It'll probably be a
Yeah.
little bit like how they did with the first episode, where it was mainly Ranger, with like had a little bit of Weiss, a little bit of Blake, a little bit of Yang. So I feel like this episode is probably going to be mainly Blake with a little bit of Ranger, maybe a little bit of Yang thrown in.
Yeah, and it's like how I said that, like, in episode 1, even though Blake, Yang, and Weiss were very limited, it was very similar to the point. This is them going forward. This is them going forward. This is them going forward, and that's all they needed to do.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm a little annoyed that in Arnold's TLDR, he just skipped over Weiss and Blake's thing. I'm like,
he did, and is gone.
I was like, dude, like, I get the comedy in that. I loved it, but there wasn't enough there to kind of comment on it. Just saying. I made a big comment on his Reddit thread. I don't know if you saw it or not. Though. I don't know why I did on Reddit, not YouTube. I just did on Reddit for some reason. But I just did. By the way, what if Blake has to leave home and go to Haven because the White Fang? I think that's what will happen. I think they will get kicked. I think, honestly, I just think the Albane twins, I'm hoping they'll bring up Adam. They'll bring up Blake and Adam's, Blake and Adam's past.
Yeah.
You know, and that will just turn all of Menagerie against Blake.
Yeah, it could be, definitely.
And just drive the family out of Menagerie. That's what I think. I don't think there's going to be an attack. I don't think there's going to be an assault or an assassination or anything like that.
I hope not, but it's still possible.
Maybe I think that'll happen maybe after Blake leaves.
Yeah.
Or as she's leaving. I think in this episode, the Albane twins, they'll just bring up Blake and Adam's past, and that will just turn the thing against that. And with that, I think Gira and Carly are aware of it. I don't think they know to what degree. But I think that they can probably establish that Blake stayed in the White Fang mainly for Adam.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where Blake and Adam's past is so potentially bad that I don't think the show will ever actually talk about it in depth.
Yeah.
They'll leave it up in the air for us because we all have much filthier minds than the RWBY does. which is a huge thing to say if you've ever seen Miles drunk. But
oh, really?
But, you know, I do think we have a much more sadistic mind on that past than the RWBY actually intends.
Inspector's raising a good point too, because Adam's going to say that Sienna was killed by a human huntsman. So, of course, the Faunus are going to feel betrayed about that. They could.
Yeah, but does that necessarily connect to the Faunus not siding with Gira and Blake and Carly, though?
No.
I don't know if that correlates, but I get your point. But, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that works. I'm wondering if they're going to pin it on anyone in particular. Like, if they're going to choose someone to pin it on. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anyone that they could directly pin it on that they're aware of. I mean, I guess... No. Son, maybe. if Adam's smart enough, that'd be funny.
Son's a fauners anyway, so...
Oh, yeah. Sorry, my bad. I forgot his tail. My bad.
How did you get his tail?
I thought it said son, I thought of Michael, and Michael doesn't have a tail. He has a kid or a tail.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, my bad. That was a... Oh, even Yang. They could put it on Yang then, because Adam knows Yang.
Oh, yeah,
that'd be really interesting.
And
but I
she's
think
used to it at the moment, so...
I think Yang has enough, though. I don't know if they want to stack that onto Yang's story as well, necessarily. From a writing point of view. Maybe I don't know if they'll ever direct someone in particular. But, okay, so we assume Blake's gonna do this whole... You know, presentation, that public presentation they probably referred to.
And it's not going to work. Well, like, Ilya told him it's not going to work, so something's going to go. Well, it's just...
Yeah.
They got something...
And of course, you know, we're curious, what specifically does she mean by that? What does she know is going to happen that obviously Blake doesn't? I think it's very interesting to think, you know, is there going to be an assault? Is there going to be an attack? Like, why is Blake in so much danger in Menagerie?
Maybe the Faunus, they got more supporters of the White Fang in Menagerie than they realised. Like, same with what happened with Sienna, with the guards.
Yeah, or again, you know, Ilya is aware of Blake and Adam's past, and Ilya probably has been with Adam as well, I want to assume, but maybe not. Or maybe, you know, that she's the new... But maybe not. I think at this point we know Adam has gone so far that maybe not. But and also, Ilya's younger than Blake, so... I assume.
Yeah, I think so.
I want to say maybe... I think she's probably not... She's probably... So, Blake's 18, so... I wouldn't say she's young as RWBY, but not old. So she's probably like 17. She's probably only a year younger, because I don't think she's as young as RWBY, which is 16.
Yeah.
But, assumingly, again, chronologically.
Yes.
Adam might pin it on Hazel. I think Adam's smart enough not to do that.
Yeah, I don't think he would.
Like, Adam realizes Salem's potential and how beneficial Salem can be.
Yes.
Because again, Adam basically, I think, really just killed Salem, killed Sienna,
Yes.
just because, in his weird way, to attempt to gain Salem's favor.
Yeah.
It's like, well, now that Sienna's dead, Salem doesn't have to worry about
No
White Fang's
problem.
allegiance.
Yeah, it's not a problem anymore.
Which again, is another, I think a lot of people don't think of when they think, oh, Sienna's death was so pointless. But another reason for that was to gain favor with Salem.
Exactly.
But even then, Salem might think that's wasteful.
Yeah.
She's all about, unnecessary death in the same sense. Did we talk about how, like, the whole Four Maiden relates to choice and the whole Pyrrha thing? Like, how she didn't actually have a choice in the end?
No, I don't think we did mention that. No. I know we spoke about the Four Maidens.
But just quickly, how that's a good commentary on how she didn't have a choice in the end.
Well, yeah.
Or her choice, she had an impossible choice, despite being the...
She was made the choice, but really, it was... Not really.
Plus, you also have that connection to, like, Summer and possibly Destruction, which I'm glad I haven't seen. I'm glad I've not seen a reactor flip out about that. I'll be like, oh, god damn it, Summer is not Summer. It's just a name coincidence. Well, I guess, again, she could be, but it's just a name coincidence.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
because Summer was written in Volume 1, the Maidens weren't developed until Volume 3. Like, that, RWBY has admitted that the Maidens' idea was established. And, again, I don't like mentioning people directly because it just starts issues. But I was watching Jake One Man Band's review of Episode 1. Yeah. And he mentioned how the Maidens and the Chambers and the Relics was so unnecessarily overly complicated and stupid. And I don't agree with that at all.
No, not at all. I think it makes sense as to why Salem wants the Maidens and... Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, okay, so we've seen what Blake's doing. What do you think Rangers... If you had to guess specifically what Ranger's going to be doing tonight. I say tonight because it comes out tonight. Yay!
Hey!
I have to go to a party tonight. I have to make sure I get home for... anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm thinking... Well, I don't think they're going to leave Mistral yet. I think they're going to stay there for a little bit longer. I actually wouldn't mind if the Bandit conversation wasn't until the end of the volume. Yeah, well, that's it.
If they drag it out that long, I'd be fine with.
I don't think they'll go off to the Bandits yet. But yeah, I think something with Oscar. I'm hoping we'll see maybe some conversation with Oscar, Ozpin, maybe. I can't really think of anything else really for Ranger yet at this stage, except more just some...
Okay, so if I had to guess, I would split into two parts. You have RWBY and Renora doing something, and you have Jean, Oscar, and Crow doing something.
Oh, yeah.
So you have Crow and Oscar talking, maybe potentially, the beginnings of sparring or trying to learn something. Bye, Cinder.
Bye, Cinder. Thank you.
So you have, like, Crow trying to teach Oscar something, and Crow having a discussion with Ozpin through Oscar, and Oscar's like, I'm right here. Like, come on. And it's as much as I like the whole Ozpin thing, it's so sad for Oscar, or really any situation like that. Like, he basically is not going to have his own life anymore.
No.
Like, he can't do anything. Like, imagine, like, yeah, I'm not even gonna mention. Never mind. That's something for after the stream. Never mind.
Okay.
But so anyway, so you have like Crow and Oscar doing something, and you have Jean walk in. Maybe he has this conversation with Oscar about Pyrrha. Because again, John's never got along with Crow. Probably won't get along with Oscar either.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting if, say, for example, Crow tries to find, say, Oscar's semblance.
Yes.
And John kind of overhears that, and maybe, like, what if Crow's speciality at teaching was semblances?
Oh, could be. Yeah.
Because he doesn't like his own semblance. So it's kind of like he kind of took on the idea of finding other people's semblances.
Yeah.
Because we know that Crow discovered RWBY's. Crow helped RWBY discover her semblance. Yang probably discovered hers when she got punched in the face. Probably by Ty. But RWBY's was something she had to learn how to do and discover it. And Crow helped her do that. So what if Jean kind of gets the idea that maybe Crow can actually help him get his semblance?
Maybe.
And then you have kind of Crow training both Oscar and Jean. And that's like that plot going forward.
I could see that.
Because Oscar has his own semblance, like Ozpin had his own. It's like his past life had their own. You know, like I assume Ozpin's semblance himself, like the first Ozpin, shall we say, his semblance, he was either the wizard or his semblance was reincarnation.
Yeah.
And that's a trait, and that's a semblance trait that has kept going throughout every single reincarnation.
Yeah.
Whereas Ozpin's semblance was probably was like time dilation or time travel kind of. That's why he was like the oldest reincarnation that has been. That's why he's a lot older than everyone thinks he is.
Yeah.
Again, my two. I thought Crow was a confirmed history teacher. Maybe that makes sense. He did the Water Remnants. That makes sense.
He did do the Water Remnants. I always thought maybe he was like more of a combat teacher.
Yeah. Well, again, probably all the above. To be fair.
Could have been.
So I think that Oscar probably has his own semblance as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting if they try to go that. Whereas I think Renora and Ruby will be at maybe trying to find Winter or Team Sun, or just trying to find huntsmen or councilmen, or, you know, they're just trying to recruit almost for this bandit attack.
I just had a thought, what if they were just walking through the market and we see like one of the other teams or something in the background walking past as well? That would be better.
Just in the background, like that's it, don't acknowledge it at all.
Yeah.
Well, like, so the funny thing is, my prediction for Volume 5's like opening scene was going to be a shadowy figure running through the streets of Mistral, and then you have basically one by one Team Sun showing up again. Like you can't really make out who they are, but showing up as like detectives almost in the streets of Mistral, and it's Neo was the person they're chasing.
Yeah.
So it was like Team Sun, the Remnant Team Sun versus Neo. That was my prediction for Volume 5. Clearly, I'm way off. But again, it would be really cool if maybe they run into Neo, who's in Mistral, or they run into Team Sun, or they run into Winter, or they run into Team Arbern, or they just find new characters, or whatever.
Yeah.
That's my prediction for Ranger. So, now I ask you, what is your prediction for Yang?
I want to first say, hi, MT. So, Yang.
This is probably the hardest one to predict, in my opinion, what was going to happen with her.
Well, we know she's going to the bandit, and that other bandit's perhaps somehow going to be helping her. So I don't know whether we actually see her getting to the bandit camp or on her way to the bandit camp. I can't really think of much else really with her until she gets to
I just really hope the guy isn't on the back of the bike, because in that position, if you can imagine two people on the back of a bike, and his advances he's had, that could be very awkward. So hopefully he's just being dragged along or something.
I just remember from Neptune saying, keep hands above the waist.
Yeah, exactly. Ugh. Motorbikes are weird when the two people on it aren't a couple. Anyway. So...
Yeah,
I really don't know. I mean, the only thing, if I had to say anything, it would just be Yang is on a bike and ends up running into a grim fight. You know, like that's about all I can really think about, really.
Or maybe she comes across one of the towns destroyed by the bandits or something.
Yeah, maybe she like eventually like hits Oniyuri or something. Maybe she ends up getting to Oniyuri.
Yeah.
And because from what we've seen of the map and what at least I would imagine Ranger's journey, they probably at one point went pretty close to where the bandits camp was probably at.
Yeah.
Because it seems like from the map, even though it was quite deliberately blurry and hard to see, because again, Kruby's always been like, okay, we're not going to define anything by fact, time-wise or location-wise, because if we do that, then you can get plot holes and inconsistencies. So I assume that the bandit camp's probably just south of Lake Munsu.
Yeah.
From what the map looks like.
Yeah.
Which is again where Weiss crashed, not too far from there.
Yeah.
And Oniyuri was probably around that same area when they went through Oniyuri, where they fought Tyrion. It was probably roughly around because I think they went south of the lake to Mistral. It was about I kind of assume was their travel route. So they all kind of went past the same point at the same time.
Yeah.
Yang goes to Mom, talks and leaves, not knowing anything. That would actually be really cool if Yang goes there, confronts, and just happens to not know Weiss was there.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, I'm not sure she's going to be able to leave the bandit camp once she gets in there. I don't know. Yeah. Or
again, it might be just one of those things where, like, you know, the bandit and Yang are teaming up, and then at the last minute, the bandit knocks her out. Or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, basically everyone's going to Raven's Camp except for Blake. Which, that's so Blake. Like, that's just so, like, everyone's doing everything and Blake's just like, I'm off to do my own thing.
Well, that's it. Blake's got to finish her story arc where she is at the moment. I just thought, like, everyone's going to Raven's camp. Raven's going to be like, what the hell, when everyone just rocks up.
Yeah, I know, again, that's what I mean. Like, Raven has so quickly become the main character of the show, like, that quickly. After being so, like, I guess, irrelevant for so long.
Yeah.
And now it's like everyone's going to her. It's really interesting. I can't wait to see all of her interactions because, you know, Anna does a great job as Raven, and I think I can't wait to see her actually do it full time. I guess, because I just think I just really like the idea. It's also funny. It's also funny that Bernie and Anna are together in a show sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like Matt's wife, so it's just like. Again, another one of those weird, we were talking about before the stream.
Yeah, we were,
another one of those weird relationship things that Rooster Teeth has. So we'll probably predict this episode will probably be like 10 minutes of Blake, 4 minutes, a little bit of Ranger and Ruby, Renora, and Crow, Oscar, Jean, and then a little bit of Yang probably.
Yep.
Now think of Raven running Camp Campbell.
Camp. I still haven't watched Camp.
Oh, there's a place I know that's tucked away, a place where you and I can stay. We can go to laugh and play and have adventures every day. I know it sounds hard to believe, but guys and gals, it's true. Camp Campbell is the place where me and you... Okay, I could go on, but I'll start to fuck it up.
You know off by heart, that's great.
So Watts doesn't know about Yang or Weiss. That's probably going to throw a wrench in Satan's plans.
Possibly.
Yeah, I guess that'll be interesting. And again, no one knows anything, basically. Everyone's going to Ravens individually.
Yeah, that's it.
But again, unlike everyone going to Mistral at the end of Volume 4, everyone going to Raven now, story-wise, makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because it's all a bit more planned out. It's been a bit more like established why everyone's going to the bandit camp, and it makes a bit more sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas everyone's going to Mistral is like, oh, Winter happens to be in Mistral. Oh, Ruby happens to be going to Mistral. The White Fang happens to be in Mistral.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. They confirmed that the Mistral HQ is in the Mistral HQ. The White Fang HQ is in Mistral.
Right. Okay. Yep.
So that's interesting. Which again, I kind of thought everything is in Mistral. Everything is in Anima. I think almost everything is in Anima. White Fang, bandits.
Yep.
It's crazy. I can see how this might play out. The White Fang will launch an attack while everyone is away at Bandit Camp.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's possible.
That could be interesting. Imagine they're all coming back at the end of the volume and Mistral's just been destroyed.
Yeah. Well, that's possible. Yeah.
Wow. Everyone will complain that we didn't see it, but but that's a stupid excuse. But despite that stupid excuse.
Well, they need to get the Spring Maiden to Haven, and then that's when they're going to have Haven fall. So
that's true.
That's another point. It could still happen, but the Spring Maiden does need to get to Haven first.
Again, like who says Adam's gonna actually listen to Salem?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he could launch attack first.
He could launch attack first.
He does his own thing, really, when you think about it. I can see him doing that.
So I'm curious how much more they're going to establish what else is going to be Mistral's, because, yeah, Mistral's the closest kingdom to Menagerie, so Blake isn't that far away.
No.
Again, especially if they get like a plane, like a transport, it would only take like maybe a few in-story days to fly from Menagerie to Mistral. Yeah. Like, Weiss was only probably a bit over a week was her trip.
Yeah.
Yang's was probably about 2-3 weeks on bike. Yeah. Whereas walking was 8 months. Yeah. And if you do actually mathematically, that does actually make sense. Trust me on that. It does actually make sense. Which I'm glad. I haven't seen many people complain about that either. Like time wise, like everyone seems to be okay with it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, but I'm curious, like, because again, they've established the White Fang in Mistral, the Bandits in Mistral, Salem could probably be in Mistral, but that little end red tail bit that could be her base. I wonder what else they're going to do. Like, obviously, Atlas doesn't need much else other than Atlas and Mantle because it's that small. Menagerie just needs the Kuakawana and then the desert. Yeah. I can't believe I remembered that, by the way.
Well done.
I'm curious if we're going to see the desert. Like, if we're going to have a situation where we're going to see the desert.
Could do.
Like, what if Blake, Gira, Carly are all kidnapped and they get thrown out to the desert for punishment? And they said they survive the desert.
Yeah, well.
That'd be interesting. And so my point is, I'm curious, like, what they're going to establish in the wilds of Vacuo, or Sarnus, basically. Like, what's going to be wilds of Vacuo, what's going to be the wilds of Vale.
Yeah.
You know, is it just Grim? You know, because it seems like there maybe aren't that many Grim in Anima because Anima is so built up with bandits and White Fang, and the kingdom is so large. It seems like there are not as many Grim as you'd expect in, say, Anima.
Yeah.
Whereas in Sinus, there's tons and tons of Grim in Sinus.
Yeah.
Because it's the biggest continent, so there's so many. Lionheart may try to redeem himself by betraying Sailor and end up getting himself killed in the process. Yeah, I fortunately think that probably is going to happen.
I can see that happening. He'll do something right at the end and, yeah, get himself killed.
I'd be very curious if we get Lionheart and Oscar interaction. Very interested to see that.
Yes. Yeah, you are late, anyway.
And I think that might be just about it, actually.
I can't really think of anything else I wanted to say. I think we've covered everything about the episode, and
you know what? If I'd woken up earlier, I was going to ask for Q&As before the stream even started.
Yes, yeah.
I was thinking of doing that.
Yeah.
So I'm actually annoyed. But if anyone has any Q&As, please get them in quickly.
Yep.
Because
any questions you want to ask us before we wrap it up?
I have a big day and we're already halfway done. So, and we've already gone an hour and a half. Again, we've gone over an hour, an extra half hour again.
Yes.
But if anyone has anything, give you guys a minute or so. If you guys have anything to ask, please go ahead.
Yes. Please ask. I thought I was going to say something else, but my brain's just gone to mush.
Well, we didn't see many in Anima because Crow kept killing them.
Behind the scenes.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, that's.
We didn't see that many Grim. That's a fair point, actually.
Yeah, I hope we get to see some. I know we saw the Lancers, but I'm really looking forward to seeing you.
Pancakes.
Pancakes, definitely.
No question.
Yeah,
Love pancakes. Not a big fan of them.
Chris made me pancakes the other day for breakfast. It was really yummy.
Oh. I don't think I've ever had pancakes like at home. I've never had like pancakes at home for breakfast. It's always like I go out to pancakes. There's a place in the city that has really good pancakes.
Yeah.
Or I go to someone else's house and they make pancakes.
Nice.
I'm confused about fairness discrimination. Okay, I've heard this many times before.
Yep.
As in Vale, it's only minor bullying, and Mistral, they seem to blend in well. Your thoughts?
Well, I think they're still discriminated against. Like, in the bullying
I get what you're saying. A lot of people seem to think that the Faunus haven't been discriminated as much as they've kind of established them to be.
Yeah.
But you don't actually see it much happening. I don't know. Normally, I always like to have a good positive spin on it, but I'm not really sure how to kind of.
I don't think we've seen enough of it quite yet. But yeah, like we've heard, like even in Black's little flashback back in Volume 1, how the ransacked shops that you used to refuse the serve faunus and companies that use faunus labour. So,
but to be fair, I think how it relates is the same way. Well, one, yeah, it has a lot to do with Atlas. I think is one question, is one point. I think another big thing is just the fact that, you know, look at our world today.
Yeah.
You know, discrimination, racism is only basically seen in the extremists. Most people just don't care. Like, yeah, you can be whatever you want. We don't really care that you're whatever.
Yeah.
You're a human. That's it.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, the same thing for Remnant. It's just the extremists that are out there that make it look so much. You know, there are people out there that probably do generally hate the faunus, like Jacques probably.
Yeah.
And etc. like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's extremist examples that are out there, but in the upfront public, you don't necessarily see it.
Exactly.
But it exists out there.
It's not always
it's
obvious.
There. It's only a few select extremists. That makes it look so much worse than it actually is. I think. I think we'll find out the Shade's headmaster's name this volume before it ends.
Maybe.
No, I think we're going to be in Mistral for another volume or two.
Yeah. Maybe next volume when, we might find out.
But again, like, I love the fact that they named it Leo in volume 4. Before we saw him. I like that. Again, I love that planting the seeds kind of stuff.
That made sense because they were heading to Haven then, and Crow mentioned the
What if the
name. Sorry?
What if the White Fang secretly unleashed Grim and Menagerie, destroying the last home of the Faunus, forcing them to join the White Fang?
Ooh.
I think it'd probably make more sense to have Faunus undercover as humans and do that.
Yeah.
Rather than have the Grim do it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. I do think that Adam's logic is he can only win a war if he has every single Faunus on his side.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to do something in Menagerie.
He needs to do something to turn them on the humans. So
yeah, and the point is that I like to mention too is that like, the reason why the White Fang doesn't have an influence on Menagerie that strongly is because you don't need the White Fang in Menagerie. Because everyone there is happy and they're at peace and there are no humans discriminating against them.
Yes.
And also the fact that the Faunus' homeland is still Menagerie even after all these years is still the example of discrimination against them. Even though you can be a Faunus elsewhere in the world, it's still kind of like your homeland's there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What if Sun still has family back in Vacuo? Well, if you... this was something I wonder if people picked up on, but I think they did. But back in Volume 1, when we first were introduced to Sun, that ship was arriving from Vacuo. And Sun was on it. So that's how Sun came to Vale before the rest of his team, because he came from a ship from Vacuo. And then back in Volume 4, he said, this is the first time I've left him to take a boat. So, say his family are still in Vacuo and he must have visited them.
Yeah, well, I mean, even in Volume 3, when Simtime's being introduced to the crowd, it's like, I saw his friends and family back in Vacuo will be cheering him on, even though he's from Mistral.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
So, no, I think it definitely does. Again, I think a Sun development, we've got a little bit of Volume 4, I think is definitely a well-needed thing. I think we definitely need Sun, again, to be a main character, along with Neptune, in my opinion. Yeah. And even Sage and Scarlet, at least, they can be the new comic relief characters, I think is fine. much like Jean was, then it was Neptune, and now I think Sage and Scarlet can get that. But again, we just need them to actually appear in the show and be established.
Exactly.
Emperor asks if you think about a Patreon page.
I haven't been thinking about it. I'll probably leave it till I get to 1,000 subscribers, I was thinking. I've only really got the Twitch tip page because I stream on Twitch. And
I personally have been thinking about it. Not that you asked, but it's just one of those things where I want to make sure I can be as 100% consistent as I can be.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like for the first time I think ever, I uploaded 3 brand new sketches in 1 week that weren't pen redos or anything like that.
Yeah.
I did Sienna, Weiss, and now Carly, which just came out just before the stream, by the way, so you guys go check that out on Twitter on DeviantArt.
That's amazing.
So. And I drew them all this week. Like, normally if I ever do that, it's like, I'd drawn them weeks ago.
Yeah, you just have
I drew Sienna on Sunday, uploaded it on Monday. I drew Weiss on Tuesday, uploaded it on Thursday. And then I drew Carly on Thursday, Friday, and uploaded her today. I've never really done that before, so I'm personally pretty proud of myself. Anyway, I don't know how that came up. Could Sun be a reincarnated character as well as inheriting the title over and over?
You mean like he's the Monkey King? Based on the Monkey King?
I wouldn't guess that, but I guess nothing I guess could say against it. I suppose maybe. So the White Fang is just using terrorist tactics and guerrilla warfare. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what the White Fang is. It's just using terrorists and guerrilla warfare. I'd say that's a fair.
Sienna's sort of wanted the humans to fear the Faunus to give them respect. That was sort of where she was coming from.
Volume 4, a new team. Volume 5, sounds like. Well, yeah, I think RWBY probably reuniting will happen in Volume 6, and I've always thought that. It's like the end of the arc, and they'll finally reunite.
Yeah, reunite all 4 of them,
Silver Eyes Awaken. Again, like, that's how I wanted to do. I wanted to this volume do the Salem stuff, Volume 6 they RWBY reunite, then 7 we finally get into RWBY versus Salem, we actually get like the Silver Eyes stuff. That's how I would do it. The Lost Faunus. Okay, now you're just doing Star Wars stuff. What do you think, Sienna, and what do you think of Sienna as I think Sienna and Carly were and are very good friends. I think that Sienna's death is going to hurt Gira and Carly a lot.
Sienna's a Tiger Faunus, so yeah, I wouldn't think they would be related, as Carly seems to be more Cat Faunus, but...
you could be related to be 2 different Faunuses.
Yeah, that's true. Possibly.
And they're both...
I don't think be sisters, though.
No, I wouldn't necessarily say sisters, but I think that the 3 of them were very close.
Yeah, so they probably were.
Gira, I think, happily handed over the mantle to, or it could be a thing where Gira and Sienna were very close, and Carly was like... but either way, I do think that there's a connection there, and I think Sienna's death will impact Blake's story a lot. Obviously. I think that's obvious. As for Menagerie, I find it hard to believe that with all faunas that are known all faunas know how to fight that can't utilize some desert, they could easily bring some hunters out to help. I don't think it's necessarily the fact that I think the desert itself is just that harsh. You know, you can't.
They said it's very dangerous and it takes up most of the island, so yeah.
Yeah. Again, like Vacuo's desert is more of like a paradise.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's like a beach almost. It's like a massive beach. Whereas, you know,
Menagerie's like our deserts.
Yeah, it's like Australian deserts where it's like, you know, even if you got rid of all the snakes and toxics and spiders and scorpions. Who are scorpions in Australia? I actually don't know. I don't think we do.
I don't know. Not where I live, anyway.
Of course not. You live in the furthest place from a desert in all of Australia.
Yep.
You live on a freaking island off the coast of Australia. There's no desert in Tasmania.
No, too cold here.
Whereas, yeah, I think that the desert itself is just too dangerous to live in just because of the climate almost.
Yeah,
You know, if you look at Menagerie and it's like, you know, no one's hardly wearing anything because it's that bloody hot. Imagine that same conditions but in a desert. It would be unbearable to live.
Yep.
Not to mention, never built a house in sand. That's an old biblical verse, I believe. Paraphrasing clearly.
Pre Wars.
What do you think about the theory that Juniper are all dying on the characters they are based on? I've heard this before.
I have heard of it before, yeah, ever since Akira, especially.
I think the possibility that, like, you know, Nora dying, then Ren taking his own life, as I think dark as that is for Ruby, I could see it happening.
Yeah.
But I don't know. People already think Pyrrha's death was freaking unnecessary. I can't imagine people would think this would be unnecessary. And I hate that when people say that, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I hate that it happened, but it's just part of the story.
But again, to me, you can say as much as you want about the show, but the second you start criticizing the writing or behind the scenes stuff, 100%, I don't want to hear anything you have to say. Because I think that's just downright absolutely disrespectful.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I know a lot of people, again, I was watching Renegades React, they reacted to Volume 1 last night.
Oh, yep.
And, one of the guys was like, he hates the Ozpin Oscar thing. Not because of the writing, but because, and he said that very clearly, because he just thinks that that's a horrible situation for Oscar to be in.
Yeah, well, it is.
That's, like, scary, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine,
exactly.
100% agree with that.
Poor Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, what are your both plans for RTX Sydney?
I got VIP tickets. I'm so excited.
I plan to buy my tickets basically this time next week. I'll have my tickets bought, and I plan to buy a weekend pass.
Yay!
And also get an apartment, a hotel in Sydney for the night. For the night, and hopefully me, you, and Shinoob, and maybe the people I'm hanging out with will probably be together most of the con.
Yes.
I think, apart from a few panels we'll probably separate from. But I think this year we'll probably try to stick together.
Yeah, we'll try to stick together a bit more.
Yeah, and we'll probably have meetups if any of you are coming or anything like that. Not that we're that popular, but, you know, we'll try.
No, Shinoob and I do want to do a meetup, absolutely. We're thinking it might be the Friday, but yeah, we'll, no, close.
Friday?
No, the Friday
Is it Saturday, Sunday?
The convention's on Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, you want to do a meetup on Friday?
We're thinking of doing a meetup on the Friday night.
I'd probably better do that, but I'll definitely better do the other stuff.
But we don't know yet, because the VIP party might be the Saturday night, but it might also be the Friday night, so we don't know yet.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I plan to, you know, print out a bunch of art and stuff to hand out to people if anyone wants, if I want to come get art. I think I'll do it through Vistaprint this time, so I actually have, like, good quality stuff to do. Because it's only, like, $20, I get, like, 500 things printed out, so.
Cool.
Yeah. I'll probably do that.
The people liked it how you were handing out fan art. It was to all the
it was so less awkward than I thought it was. Only one group of people was like, no. Everyone else was just like happy to accept it. I'm like, awesome.
Like, oh, freebie drawings, yay!
And like, I'm friends with at least like 3 or 4 people I gave art to at RTX. I now talk to them on Twitter quite often.
Yeah.
It's cool that, you know, I now follow a few cosplayers. I now follow someone who, like, it's really cool like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully I'll take more photos this time. That's what I got to do.
Yeah, I want to take some more photos this time.
Due to accept fan art. I make fan art.
Yeah, I'm always happy to see fan art.
I don't necessarily. I just don't accept fan art because I just don't think I just don't necessarily. Not yet, at least. Maybe one day. But that's our plans for RTX, I guess.
Yeah.
I hate they keep leaving Pyrrha out of the merchandising and Rooster Teeth store. She was with us for 3 seasons. The other thing in merchandise. I mean, neither does Penny has one shirt, and it's only available in the European store. Neo doesn't have any merchandise. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily the fact they're living up Pyrrha. I just don't think there are a lot of characters in the show that don't have merchandise. A lot of it, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
She has a plushie that no one else has. It's shit, but she has one. I mean, you know, I would go as far as to say that that's, you know, she has a shirt. My friend, you can buy a Pyrrha shirt. You can buy a Pyrrha shirt.
Yeah, there is a Pyrrha shirt, isn't there?
My friend has it because he loved Pyrrha.
Yeah, yeah.
He wears it all the time too. I think she has. I see Nora and John die, but maybe Ren will attempt to kill himself, but we'll say by RWBY. Yeah, I don't know. I really have no idea. At this point, it doesn't feel like any of them will die.
Yeah.
But things could change.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have, you know, we're back in the progression part of the volume. So, you know, when we get to volume 6 and it's all hell breaks loose again, we'll just have to wait and see necessarily how that's going to play out. I'm cosplaying Adam. My name's Adam Simple. I will have Bob's arm. I love when cosplayers have Yang's arm. Well, as you can see, I am already half prepared for an Adam cosplay. I don't have the outfit, but I have, and of course, Larissa has her RWBY, of course. I don't see Ren committing suicide, but maybe a self-sacrifice. Well, I mean, Nora almost did that in Volume 4.
Yeah, well, that's it.
So that's a possibility. Do you accept fan art specifically of yourselves? God, no.
I had 2 of me. And
Just do Larissa. Just do Larissa. I make the fan art. I don't want people making fan art of me. Just no offense. No offense.
Oh, come on, you would love it, even though you'd be really embarrassed.
No, thank you. Self-portraits are not my thing, so I don't thank you.
I will be honoured.
I'd send some fan art, but I don't want Larissa blushing that much. And again, Pyrrha has her own cereal. Everyone else in the show has her own cereal. Now we do need Neo's Neo. Now we do need Neo's Neo.
We do need Neo's Neo. Isn't Neo
that would be amazing. Even though it's poison, that's still fine. Anyway, we've gone 2 hours. We've gone like 2 hours, an hour and a half now. 2 hours
We've
or
got
something.
to an hour and a half, yeah.
So I think that's going to be it for it. Very excited for tonight. Of course, I'll be up at 2 a.m. watching the RWBY episode 3. What was the episode called again?
Unforeseen complications.
Unforeseen complications. I'll be watching that. Of course, Lucy will be watching it tomorrow morning.
Yes.
But of course, the reaction will come up at 2 a.m. her time. Feel free to convert that yourselves. Right, it'll come up at 2 a.m. same time as the next episode comes out. The reaction will.
I believe it doesn't get blocked.
Here's a tip, because I think Laura Lee did it.
Yeah.
She uploaded it and it got blocked. So she sent an email before it even gone public yet.
Right.
So it's unblocked now, so that when she upload, it's already been block checked.
Yep.
So that's a good idea. So I assume you probably haven't edited it yet. No offense. I assume you haven't edited it yet.
No.
You never do. For whatever reason, you never ever edit until the day it needs to be uploaded.
I just don't get to it, especially since I'm streaming most nights during the week, so I just don't get to it.
But for any other reactors out there, it's a good tip to upload it beforehand, have it get blocked, send an email while they're, during the weekday.
Yeah.
Have it unblocked, and therefore when you go public, it won't get blocked that way.
Alright.
I know Liam Catterson and Laura Lee were talking about that on Twitter, and I thought that was a very good idea.
Yeah, so upload it like I normally do, see if it gets blocked, and then do the email.
Send them an email before the weekend, kind of thing, before they're all...
okay, because I sort of waited till the Sunday morning till I sent the email last time, so I'll send the email straight away.
But at that point, Saturday for them, and then no one's in the office.
Well, it was 2 a.m. at the time, and I really wasn't thinking straight, just typing an email. I'm really upset.
But that's the worst thing. As much as I loved episode 2, I just imagine all the reactions are going to be so salty when it comes to Adam. And it's going to be so hard to sit through and watch, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think how I was reacting. I was just so shocked about it all. But I definitely like his outfit.
I just imagine so many people are going to be like, "Oh, what a waste of a character," and it's just like, I don't know. I'm just biased. I don't like negative. That's just me.
I was just like, I didn't want to see that happen. And I was sad, but I was shocked. But yeah.
Yes, the worst thing about being a first member is keeping your mouth shut for 3 days. But if you follow me on Twitter, just so you know, my Twitter is a completely spoiler full Twitter account. So if you want to discuss RWBY, you can come to my Twitter, and I have no problem discussing it because Plus, I'll upload something for episode 3 on Monday, so
Yeah.
I'll already spoil people by Monday, so I apologize.
Stay off my Twitter mostly until I've watched the episode myself, which I usually watch it on the Sunday, so...
Which again, sometimes you wake up that morning, so it's not like... You just, don't go on Twitter for an hour while you wake up.
Well,
That's
I go do
it.
my stream, because I'm doing stream on Twitch in the morning, so I usually do that, and then I'll do RWBY afterwards, yeah.
Yeah. So also, when you're doing like more FNAF or Binding of Isaac, because I'm very interested to see those in particular streams.
I don't know if I'll do FNAF again, because I finished it. Because I didn't finish the bonus
fair enough.
night.
But I know you're doing
Binding of Isaac, yes, next Friday.
Next Friday. Okay,
Yes.
I'll definitely, hopefully be there for that, because I definitely want to see you play that a lot. I'm very excited for that
It'll
game.
be on YouTube eventually. I've been a bit slack putting my Twitch streams on YouTube. It's just...
Anyway, I think we got to wrap up now.
Yes.
But thank you all for coming. Very much enjoyed this, even though we are both very, very tired.
Yeah. It'll be better next week, hopefully.
And nothing's going to be done today, because by the time I actually get home tonight, it'll be like 11:30.
Yeah.
So I'll have like 2 hours before the RWBY episode comes out. So I have 2 hours now before I go to work, and then 2 hours before I have to go watch RWBY. So I have 4 hours after this day to get stuff done.
Yeah, and I'll probably do a few things, and then I'll go and work on my RWBY reaction and get that all sorted.
Anyway, thank you all for watching, guys, and we hope to see you guys next week. I have not been your host, Imperial Dawn, but apparently I am, because I'm the one who talks mostly in these
You're
things.
my co-host. We do this together. It's alright.
I'm assertive. I'm sorry. I will.
That's alright.
I don't talk about RWBY for a whole week because all my friends are in uni right now, so I can't talk to them about it.
Well,
so this is my outlet.
Well, I did Boobcast, so I sort of got to talk about it then the other day. So.
Yeah. I think I'll be on at some point, by the way. If any of you guys watch Boobcast, I will be on it. I think sometime past episode 6, I'll probably be on it.
Yes.
And if you ever want to see me and Beck argue, that's gonna be
fun.
a hell of a time.
Oh goodness, I can see that's gonna happen.
I don't think I'm gonna be re-invited, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you guys all, and we'll see you guys next time.
Okay, see you guys. Bye.
Bye.